Yeah.
Did you get everybody back, Paul?
Yeah, we got everybody back as of last night. So, yeah, it's good to get everybody back. We'll actually get a couple practices, hopefully with a full roster these next 2 days going into North Dakota State.
It was interesting.
What's the wise percent?
Well, their front line is really good. You know, Grant Nelson's phenomenal. He's, I think, in two conference games so far on the road, he's 19 of 30 from the field. He's averaging 12.5 rebounds. He's shooting it at a high percentage. He's finishing at a high percentage. You know, he presents rim protection along with Morgan. So their front line's it's as good a front line in our level of Division I as you'll see. So that's where it starts. I think they're a team that has shown that they can, throughout games, they can be really effective offensively. They can be really effective defensively. But when you're playing younger guys, you have runs of some turnovers here and there, and you have some runs of defensive mistakes that they'll make, like we make, that hurt them. I think you see it in their game with Montana when they're up. Against Montana, you see it in their game against St. Thomas when they're up. But then you also see it in their ability to close, to come back, to get ahead, to get leads. So, you know, they got really good, young, talented players mixed in with Morgan, you know, with Bowden, with Nelson. And they count on those three guys an awful lot. But they got some good young guys and some transfers that are really helping them kind of through this growth process that they're going through. A little bit like what we have and what we're going through.
Based on their record, it doesn't match the talent level they have.
Yeah, you know, records can really fool you. They just can. I think they've played a pretty tough schedule. They played a pretty difficult schedule, especially when you look at, Nelson was out for a while. He missed some games. Now, one of their wins was at Portland. That's a really good team they beat on their home court. The Nelson kid didn't play in that game. So I think it shows you what they're capable of and what they can do. I just think people get fooled by records. I don't care what sport you're playing. Man, winning's hard, and every team's preparing. Every team's trying to get ready to play, and every team's got a group of guys that are fighting for each other. And you know that's where we're at right now. I see the good things that we're doing. You know, we've been early on. We weren't a great rebounding team, and we went plus 16 on the boards. But they only gave up two shots or two baskets off offensive boards against St. Thomas. It just happened to be in that 3-minute stretch when they went on I think we were up 3 to down 10 in a matter of 3 minutes. And we gave up two boards that we had our hands on. So, like we're getting better offensively, but we turn it over too much. I think our effective field goal percentage is in the top 100 in the country, but our turnovers are in the bottom, 5% in the country. So we got to clean those up, and that'll help us. Because if you're a good offensive team, when you don't turn it over, how about you turn it over less? And take more and be more effective with the offense that you're doing pretty well in.
Health-wise, okay.
Yeah, I mean we're as, knock on wood, we're as healthy as we can be right now. I think there's bugs going around that guys are fighting, different stuff like that. But like we're healthy, knock on wood.
When you talk about the turnovers, Paul, if you got a rotation down to 8. So does that make a difference? Because you haven't been able to get there, right?
Well, let's just say we had 14 of them in the St. Thomas game. 3 of them came from a freshman, and everybody else had 1. Right? I think we're spreading the turnovers out pretty well. So, like, whether it's just, I think anytime you can close a rotation down to 8 to 9 guys, it helps. And we're it's no secret. I think we're still kind of searching for that. And there's different days that different guys give you reasons to put them on the floor, and vice versa. And then there's days where everybody's maybe doing a great job with it, so you're giving guys more opportunity, so you're playing more guys. But we shortened the bench and tried a little bit different lineup against St. Thomas, and there was some effectiveness to it. We had them to 27 points before the defensive mistake we made going into half when they tied us with a late 3 in that first half. We held St. Thomas to 27 points on their home floor, and they're one of the better offensive teams in the country that doesn't turn it over. 27 points. They score 49 in the second half. And so, like, just building more consistency, taking care of the ball better. You know, the big stat in that game was our points off turnovers. And they really, we got them on second chance points, but they really got us on points off turnovers. So there's things that are improving. I think our defense is improved and has gotten better. You know, we're getting defensive field goal percentages down better, but we still have lapses in that. So we just got to keep fighting for it.
We talked about it last night with your assistant. Is it a good thing that you got 12 guys?
Yeah.
Or is it a bad thing that you don't have a narrow down 8 or 9?
I think a lot of times, and I think you'll find this in life, like your greatest strength is usually your greatest weakness. It just usually is, right? And I think for us right now, it's a strength that we have depth. If we have injuries, there's depth there. So I think it's a good strength, but like we also need some guys to kind of continue to work to rise to the top. And you know, we're challenging our returning guys a little bit more that way. You see a guy like Brady Danielson and what he's doing, and even what Matt Norman's doing as upperclassmen and seniors. They're doing an awfully nice job. We need other guys to kind of follow in that, to provide that experience. You know, the St. Thomas has got a young group of guys, but the guys that really made the plays for them were 3 grad students. You know, Parker Bjorklund, Brooks Allen, and you know, Riley Miller. And you know, they did the same thing against North Dakota State the next time they played. It's you know, the guys that, you know, from the consistency standpoint are guys that have been through it. And that's what, you know, we need to get more from that group daily in practice, and then when their opportunity comes on the court, more consistently on both sides of the floor. And you know, that's kind of been it. I think different points and different times and different practices and throughout different games, we've had different guys do some things. That consistency, you know, I don't know. I think if anybody would ever ask you what's a really important thing to bring is being consistent. And so we're continuing to work on that. But a lot of positives, a lot of good things going on. And I like the energy from our guys coming back from break. We got a little extended break. I think that was really good for our guys. But we got work we got to do. And you know, I'd like to think we got some really good basketball in front of us. But man, we're going to have to continue to fight and make improvements at different spots to keep getting there.
The fact that oh no, just this point of the season, 3 of your top, I think 7 scorers are freshmen. That should be one of the positives.
Absolutely, it is. And you know, they're doing it with everybody's doing it with a little bit limited minutes, just because we're playing a lot of guys. So you know, when you provide more opportunities and more minutes, you look at numbers and you look at percentages, and those guys, those younger guys. I mean, you know, Elijah Brooks is 72% from the field right now. That's not bad for a freshman. That's pretty good. You know, even BJ's numbers, and he's our leading scorer, but as a freshman, you know, he's almost a 1-to-1 assist to turnover ratio for a freshman that plays that position. It's pretty good. And his percentages are getting better. Trayson's percentages are getting better, but defensively, like, he's come a long ways from where he was, to where he is. So, like, those are really good. And even Johnny, I think, as a freshman, now he's not a true freshman. But when his minutes, I think he's showing some reason to get him on the floor more, and we're trying to do that a little bit more. So yeah, I think we got some young guys that are doing things that you're excited about for your young players, no question.
You talked about turnovers, free throws too.
Yeah.
Bottom of the pack for both.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, free throws. You know, you can look at it and you know, ifs and buts and all that noise, right? But like, there's literally a couple games that it is basically been turnovers, points off turnovers, and literally missed free throws and opportunities at the free throw lines to win games. And so, like, there's a lot of things you're doing really, really well to put yourself in those positions. But then you've got to close the possession. You got to close the, you know, you take care of the ball better and make your free throws. Nobody's trying to miss. So, you know, and I think it's been better. We're trying some different things in practice to maybe get a little bit more pressured type looks at the free throw line. But we've got to, you know, it hasn't been a huge sample size yet with just with just the St. Thomas game coming in. So, I think moving forward, hopefully that we can kind of correct the free throw stuff as well.
It's a different NDSU team, like you alluded to, than you've seen maybe the past few years, but it's still a big rivalry for you guys, right?
Yeah, and Coach Richmond's not doing anything different than he's ever done. I think he's going to coach those guys the way he coaches them, and he coaches his teams hard. He gets after his guys, and they compete. They get better throughout the year, and I think when you got a young group like he has with new players, with a small core guys back that have played quite a bit, you're going to see a team that continues to get better. So it just is. You throw records out. I mean, for all of us, it's man, who's playing your best basketball January into February, and that's I'm sure that's his goal, and that's our goal. And coming back from break and this practice time, and then playing a team like North Dakota State, just having one game this week where we can kind of continue to practice after and get ready for next week as well. I think it's a good opportunity to just keep building us and trying to get better for this January, February run.
You mentioned Brady's name. Is that kind of a player that you're expecting to make an impact in a game like this? Or?
Brady Danielson? Yeah, I mean, Brady's been such a kind of a backbone, a guy our guys I think have really kind of rallied behind. We're playing him at some point guard right now, and we're doing that for a lot of different reasons. But I think we're just looking for something to really kind of click for both of us, for both sides of the floor, right? And then at the free throw line and rebounding and defensively, all those things, because I definitely think we've got a group of guys that maybe offensively they really bring some positive things, but they're still working to get better on defense. And then defensively, guys that are maybe our better players are maybe not guys that are high-level shooters or things like that, but they're still like BJ and Brady's efficiency on offense has been phenomenal. So it's like we got to try to get him on the floor more. Both him and Elijah are playing about 18 to 19 minutes a game, and they both kind of play that same spot. So we're just trying to find ways to get those guys that are really performing well more time on the floor.
So this 3-game home stretch is the longest home stretch left of the season before these sort of back-to-back weekend games. What can you say about trying to take advantage of this many home games in a row?
Yeah, I mean, protect the Betty. Like, we got some home opportunities here. Let's really take pride in our home games. Let's take pride in protecting our floor. Let's take pride in we're not traveling and getting stuck in airports and getting our bus, pulled out of a ditch or anything like that. We get to sleep in our own beds and keep a pretty decent schedule. So let's take advantage of that, and let's protect our court and take a little pride in protecting the Betty. That's our message. And it is, and when you have a 3-game homestand, you're going to be hitting the road after that, right? So let's worry about NDSU. That's our next game. It happens to be at home. Let's worry about that one first, and then the next one after that we'll worry about that then. But it's definitely nice to have a little stretch like this.